Greetings everyone! Welcome to part 9 of Sonic and Mega Man Worlds Unite. We're beginning the third and final act, and it is here that other game franchises will start making their appearances. Well, Street Fighter's already here thanks to Styx the Badger. In fact, it was because of Styx bringing in the Street Fighter characters that a plan was inspired to have characters from other worlds join the fight. The heroes split off into groups of 2, consisting of one Sonic and one Mega Man representative, and head off into these worlds to stop Sigma's Mavericks and to recruit the locals. Sonic and Breakman arrive in Miracle World, home to Alex Kidd. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Sega's second mascot. Alex and his companion Stella are having a rock-paper-scissors contest with the Maverick Magna Centipede from Mega Man X2. Because of his multiple hands, he cheats. As a response, Alex and Stella destroy him. Sonic and Breakman land, and while Breakman inspects the Unity engine, Sonic introduces himself. You know, there's something charming when these two shake hands here. Anyway, Sonic explains Sigma's plan and asks the two if they want to join the fight. Alex and Stella decide via a rock-paper-scissors match. Stella wins and they're going. But if Alex won, they still would have gone. The next world is Ghosts and Goblins. The hero of the world, Sir Arthur, confronts the Demon King Astaroth for the fate of a princess. Astaroth calls forth Firebrand, and then a Genesis portal opens up. The Mavericks Gmail and Zane are ready to plant the Unity engine and leave. Sir Arthur thinks that they're knights and want them to help him slay the demon. Arthur, you poor fool, these two are here to screw with your world. Zero and Bunny arrive to stop the Mavericks. Astaroth's not pleased with these off-worlders and wants to know what's going on. Bunny explains Sigma's plot, which doesn't sit well with Astaroth. He incinerates the Mavericks with little effort. Dang. Astaroth declares a truce with Sir Arthur and has him and Firebrand go with the heroes to stop Sigma. The next world is Skies of Arcadia. Location, Crescent Isle. Figures Knuckles would end up in a world with a floating island. A group called the Blue Rogues engaged the Maverick Tito McCohen from X5. I won't call the Maverick by that name. Instead, I will refer to him as Tito Whale. No joke, that's his official name according to the Mega Man X Complete Works. Anyway, the Blue Rogues barely make a dent in the Maverick until legendary Blue Rogue Vice arrives and uses Cutlass Fury. It's super effective as Tidal Whale's disabled. Knuckles and Quake Woman show up and explain Sigma's plan. So yeah, Vice and his crew join the heroes against Sigma. We return to the Street Fighter universe as the Street Fighter gang stop Magma Dragoon from activating the Unity engine. You know, it's kind of ironic to see Magma Dragoon taken down by moves he himself uses in X4. Once the Mavericks trashed, Ken and Ryu go all bonus stage on the Unity engine, and what's Styx doing with that head? Wait a minute, Styx is here? Okay, I'm going to address this now. Styx is with the Street Fighter team because she's dubbed them New Team Styx. Okay, fine. But here's the thing, she's supposed to be with X as seen here. I was willing to put this aside, but then a preview of Part 10 reveals that she's still with X when they enter the Monster Hunter world. Before anyone says this takes place before they rescued the heroes from the Mavericks in Part 8, this line said by Styx nixes that idea. So yeah folks, we have a continuity flub. Moving on, turns out there's a second Unity engine in the Street Fighter world, and Blizzard Buffalo from X3 made the mistake of placing it in Shadaloo territory. M. Bison interrogates Blizzard Buffalo, who reveals Sigma's plot. As Bison snaps the Maverick's neck, he states that Sigma is now on Shadaloo's radar. The next new world is Nights into Dreams. At Dreamgate, Nights is harassed by Storm Eagle from X1, while its rival, Rila, is under attack by Storm Owl from X4. Thankfully, Tails and Airman arrive to distract the Mavericks long enough for the two Nightmarons to take them out. Tails explains the Sigma plot to Nights, and it agrees to join them. Nights asks Rila to come along, but he refuses. That is until his boss Wiseman orders him to go with the heroes because, like Astaroth and M. Bison, he doesn't appreciate having another villain marching in on his territory. The final new world in this issue is Okami. Sally and Woodman are in Kamani Village where they hear some wolf cries. Turns out there's a fight between Amaterasu and Blizzard Wolfang from X6. The Maverick meets his end thanks to the power of art. The tiny person on top of Amaterasu wants her to attack Sally and Woodman. However, she would rather befriend them. Introductions all around, and we learn that the tiny person's name is Isuin. Like before, the heroes explain Sigma's plot, and the locals decide to help. Back over to Sigma. He realizes what's going on and decides to destroy the one rally point the heroes could use, Sky Patrol, while these people are still inside. So Sigma finally wisened up and decided to do something about Sky Patrol himself. I'm sure it's just a cliffhanger thing. Other than Sigma, the basic plot of this issue is heroes go to New World, witness the Mavericks getting trashed by the locals, asking the locals for help, and the locals joining the heroes. As such, I will briefly explain the characters and settings of these new game worlds, occasionally bringing in real-world information as needed. So let's start with Alex Kidd. I stated earlier he's Sega's second mascot, the original one being Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone. Alex himself would later be replaced by... yep. The reason is, Sega needed a mascot to compete with a certain Italian plumber. But I digress. Alex Kidd, or should I say Prince Alex Kidd of the nation of Radaxian, lives on Miracle World, also known as Ares. During the events of his first game, his father King Thunder disappeared, and his brother Prince Isol was kidnapped by Jenkin the Great. It was during said events that Alex learns that he's related to them. After defeating Jenkin, Isol is crowned king, and Alex became defender of the city. Alex is the practitioner of the shell core technique. It allows one to dramatically alter the size and toughness of their fists through sheer willpower, and enables one to shatter rocks, or in this case Mavericks, with one's bare fist. Jenkin, that is the game and not the enemy, is an important gameplay aspect and is part of the culture of this series. We would know the game better as rock, paper, scissors. That's why Alex and Stella were mad when Magna Centipede cheated. Speaking of Stella, she only appeared in one game, Alex Kidd The Lost Stars. She's the second player in that game and also a practitioner of Shellcore. Stella is Alex's companion, but it's unknown if there are any romantic interests between the two. Next we have Ghosts and Goblins, a game franchise brought to us by Capcom. What's presented in the comic is probably the events of the first game. The plot of that game involves Sir Arthur rescuing Princess Prim Prim from the Demon King Astaroth. This bit here with Sir Arthur losing his armor is a shout out to a gameplay mechanic. If Arthur's hit while wearing his base armor, he's reduced to just his boxers. One more hit afterwards will kill him. Astaroth sends Firebrand along with Arthur to stop Sigma. Also known as the Red Armorer, this gargoyle-like demon actually starred in his own series of games called Gargoyle's Quest. In fact, at the start of the second game, we see his home village of Etruria, which is ruled by King Morok. And take a look at this guy. Yeah, he's pretty much identical to Astaroth, so they more than likely made these two kings one and the same. Next up is Skies of Arcadia. It's an RPG game published by Sega. It follows the air pirate group called the Blue Rogues as they travel in search of 6 moon crystals. The group presented here is Vice, the main protagonist, Aika, Vice's longtime friend, Fina, the magic user, plus her companion Kopel, who handles the physical attacks, Drachma, the old man with powerful mechanical arms, Glider, the more laid-back and fun-loving member, and Enrique, a prince who turned Blue Rogue against his own empire, Valua. The ship used through a good portion of the game is called the Delphinus, given to Vice by Enrique. And it is a powerhouse. And finally, Crescent Island is where Vice began setting up a base for the Blue Rogues. Some quick real-world information. First, Skies of Arcadia is one of writer Ian Flynn's favorite games. And 2, Vice has appeared in a Sonic comic before, Sonic Universe 45, which is a one-issue promotion for the game Sonic and the All-Stars Racing Transformed. Now for Street Fighter, I won't talk about it as much since it's been featured in the past few issues. What I will say is the way Ryu and Ken deal with the Unity engine is reminiscent of the bonus stage in which you destroy cars. Also, M. Bison shows up. He's the leader of the Shadaloo and uses deadly psycho power, which explains how he owned Blizzard Buffalo so easily. Nights into Dreams is another Sega franchise. It follows the story of Knights, whose mischievous, free-spirited behavior often clashes with its creator, Wiseman. As such, Wiseman often imprisons knights in Knightopia to keep it out of the way. Knights would ask for the assistance of visitors in order to defeat Wiseman. The reason I keep referring to knights as it is because knights is genderless. Riala, and I'm sorry for the mispronunciation earlier, is knights' quote-unquote sibling. But unlike knights, Riala is loyal to Wiseman, and thus he and knights are rivals. Like knights, Riala is genderless, but is often referred to as a he. Our final game world is Okami, or Okami from Capcom. It's the story of how the land was saved from darkness thanks to the Shinto sun goddess Amaterasu, who takes the form of a white wolf. She would use the celestial brush located at the tip of her tail to solve puzzles and as a weapon. Amaterasu's companion here is Aisuin. He's a Ponkol, a race of tiny humanoids, and he's an artist. He's also known for being a bit talkative. A new act brings a new artist, and this time we have Tyson Hess, or is it pronounced Hesse? Anyway, it's much better than Act 2's. The colors by regular Sonic colorist Matt Herms really helps the art. Overall, this issue gets a 7. The art's good, and there is care with regards to the game references, but here's the thing. Not everyone's familiar with all these game franchises, and any references might fly over their heads. Of course, one could look up the information online like I did, but what hurts the story is that you shouldn't need to do research for games and characters you don't know. Anyway, next time we have 6 more franchises to introduce, so expect more of the same thing. Until then, have a good day, and be safe. Sticks wearing Magma Dragoon's head. That's not disturbing at all.